Hello, baseball family. Matthew here with the September British Baseball History segment we're going to round. Oh, no. Wrong month.
You're listening to the British Baseball Podcast.
Hello, baseball family. Matthew here with the British Baseball Podcast. Thank you for tuning in as always and for your support. If you could like and share and review if you have the ability to do so. Apparently, it does go a great way in helping support this podcast, which is independently run. And this is your British baseball history for the month of August. And we had some great stuff that happened in August across the years. We're going to start off in 1874. And this is where a lot of the fun really begins. The Boston Red Sox, which are not the current day Boston Red Sox, unfortunately. I think it's the Cleveland team of date. Was versus the Philadelphia Athletics in the 1874 World Tour. And this is continued from July in Liverpool, with games being held in Manchester, London, and Sheffield. So on the 1st of August, which was a Saturday in Manchester, the players took a 1-hour train ride from Liverpool. The baseball game was played at Old Trafford grounds, which, unlike Edge Hill Ground in Liverpool, is currently still in use by Lancashire County Cricket Club. And if you've ever been around in the Northwest, you can see what a beautiful place that is. And the England side to this day, who still use the cricket club. Crowds more accustomed to the American turnouts, and approximately 2,000 people watched the match. Wes Fiesler and George Hall each hit home runs, and it was 13 runs to 12 in favor of the Athletics. This is going to sound like the roundup show, so I'm sorry. It looks like they had a day off. It was August the 3rd, which was a Monday. They travelled down to London, played at Lord's Cricket Ground. The baseball match was watched by 5,000 people as the game was played on a bank holiday. The Red Stockings hit 4 home runs. Spalding, Leonard, and O'Rourke and George Wright hit off the Athletics pitcher Dick McBride, and Anson hit 1 for the Athletics. The British press reported favourably about the match, but they stated that the American game was an advanced edition of rounders, and baseball would never come close to cricket's popularity. And I think there's a debate to be had there. And that was 24 runs to 7 in favour of Boston. Now, the 6th of August saw another game take place at Lord's. This time, only 200 people turned out to see the Red Sox win 14 runs to 11. Saturday, the 8th of August in Richmond, the Athletic won 11 runs to 3. Once the baseball match was completed at Old Deer Park, it went on to the 10th of August at Crystal Palace. Boston won 17 runs to 8, but the Athletic would get revenge the next day in Crystal Palace with a 19 runs to 8 victory. Thursday the 13th at Kennington, Boston 16, the Athletics 6. The baseball match in Kennington, which is part of London, was played at the Kennington Oval Ground. Friday the 14th of August, again in Kennington, it was Spalding 9, 14, McMullins 9, 11. So it's a bit of an all-starish type game. Before the Saturday the 15th in Sheffield, Boston 19, the Athletic 8. The match was played at Bramall Lane, which is the football stadium for Sheffield United in the English Championship now. I've not followed football for so long because my team is rubbish, so I don't really keep an eye on it. But at the time, it was a cricket ground. The Monday, the 17th of August in Sheffield, it was Boston 18, the Athletic 17. And then they had a cricket match on the same day, and it was the Americans 130 to Sheffield 88. Back up in Manchester on Thursday, the 20th, the Athletic 7, Boston 2. The baseball and cricket matches were played in the same location as the August 1st games, and then the tour moved on then to Dublin. So 1890, 4th of August, Secretary Alexander Langard of Derby Baseball Club officially retires the club from the National League with immediate effect, citing financial losses and low attendances. Then in a meeting in the Athenaeum, Derby, a new baseball club for the town of Derby was then formed. It was noted that Francis Lay was to be elected as chairman of the new club, given that his old club had been dissolved. Lay agreed to the new Derby Baseball Club being tenants of the Lays Recreation Centre, known later on as the baseball ground for Derby County Football Club, and he let the club use it rent-free until the club was making a profit. It was reported that for all practical purposes, its dissolved club was Leys Recreations Club, and the new club would be the real Derby Baseball Club. They also maintained his claim that his dissolved works club had actually won the 1890 National League pennant and not Aston Villa, which caused a bit of controversy. But again, Aston Villa were credited with it because of what we just talked about. And the reason why there was such a kickoff and fuss about this is that back in July, on the 9th of July, Francis Lay agreed to only use professional American pitchers in games versus Aston Villa. That under his new arrangement, Derby lost 4 out of their 6 matches, hammering their championship prospects to the degree that Francis Lay broke a number of bylaws under the threat of his Derby club to withdraw from the league, including refusing to field a 9 on the 6th of August and giving the league board no option but to raise the National League record of Derby. On the 15th of August, the Derby Daily Telegraph would actually publish an article claiming that Derby had actually won the National League under Section 21 of the league constitution, under which it was said that the club with the highest win percentage will be the winner of the pennant. The club claimed that up until their withdrawal of the National League on the 5th of August, they would have a win percentage that would have been unachievable for the remaining clubs based on their completed season stats to that date. In reality, Aston Villa were the first and only professional baseball champions of Great Britain, being awarded the pennant for the season, with Derby's record expunged from the official stats. It was questioned by local population at the meeting who the new Derby club would have as the opposition if they had to remain outside the National League, to which they agreed to donate 50 guineas to establish a Leys Challenge Club to the new town club to compete for. By June 1891, Lay had withdrawn his offer of funds for the proposed Challenge Cup and stated that he believed baseball was dead in Derby. This lull, however, was short-lived, with the Derby Baseball Club once again taking its place in the national championships within weeks of Lay's prediction of the death of baseball. Moving up now, I'm going to mix this up a little bit. 2003, the 17th of August, the Scottish baseball team, the Edinburgh Diamond Devils, named their home the Bobby Thompson Field. It was opened by Thompson himself in 2003 while he was in Scotland, while he's been inducted into the Scottish Sports Hall of Fame. The 1938 Amateur World Series was the first Amateur World Series tournament. It was later renamed the Baseball World Cup as of the 1988 tournament, and it was contested by Great Britain and the United States over a series of 5 games from August 13th through to August 18th in England, and it was won by Great Britain. Game 1 was played in Wavetree Stadium in Liverpool on the 13th of August, and GB won that one 3-0. Game 2 was played on the 15th of August at Old Craven Park in Kingston upon Hull, where GB came out winners 8-6. Game 3 took place at Spotland Stadium in Rochdale on the 17th of August, where GB suffered their only defeat of the tournament in a 5-0 shutout, before Game 4 moved on to Halifax and Shea Stadium, where GB scored 4-0 victory on the 19th of August. And the final game, Game 5, took place on the 20th of August at Headingley Stadium in Leeds, where GB won 5-3. And they've got some of the roster here as well. So Chummy McNeil, which is a real name apparently, was the manager of Great Britain. Other known players were Sid Bissett, Frank Caderet, Sam Hanna, Doc Holden, which is a great name, Ross Kendrick, Larry Marsh, Chummy McNeil himself, Jack Ritchie, Ken Robinson, Irving Rovinsky, Jerry Strong, and Danny Wright. And for USA, you had manager Leslie Mann, Lee Benson was a player, George Binger, Clyde Dean, Harold Graff, Lloyd S. Johnson, Aurel Lindau, John McDermott, Tommy O'Rourke, Wendell Ringland, Mike Schiemer, Charles Tate, Virgil Thompson, and Wiley Platt. And from Project Cobb, managed to get a nice little snippet here. So George McNeil was the captain. He was also, he led the Yorkshire and Leeds teams that year. He was a catcher and pitcher. He also played ice hockey for London, a London club. He was quite unassuming, a born leader who knows how to get the last ounce from his team. Danny Wright was captain of Halifax Baseball Club. He was a pitcher, an outstanding centre fielder, was an instructor at the first baseball school to be established in the North. Sammy Hanna was another one from Halifax, acknowledged the finest shortstop in the country, professional footballer of Irish descent, and he learned to play the game in Canada. Frank Cadoret, yet another from Halifax, England's reserve catcher, speedy between the bases, one of the big hitters of the team. He was also an ice hockey star. Jerry Strong, England's second line of offense to fastball and curve pitcher, bats left and right-handed, captain of the Hull Baseball Club, also played for West Ham, London in 1936 and 1937. Jack Ritchie, a left-handed batter, plays for Liverpool Giants, represented Lancashire in 1937 and 1938, a reliable player, very popular with the fans. Doc Holden was captain of the Scarborough Seagulls in 1937. He now catches for the, well, I say now catches. He did then go on to catch for the Greenfield Giants, a safe hitter known as the crooning baseballer. Ken Robinson, the captain of Oldham Greyhounds in 1937, and present season outstanding first baseman, heads England's batting averages, boxer, Canadian Golden Glove champion. And then final bit here with Sid Bissett, one of the first to play baseball under the NBA rules in England. That's not the basketball. Was captain of Bradford North in 1935. Now plays for the Durex Club in the Birmingham League and can take any position on the field and is a star pitcher in the Midlands. I don't know about you, but I get an absolute kick out of find out all this information about players from the past that have played the sport in this country and find all these locations and teams. And it's superb. Oh, there's a bit more here about Ross Kendrick. Ross is a native son of Smith Falls, Canada, climbed the ladder through juvenile, junior, and intermediate baseball, making a name for himself in Ottawa Valley and East Ontario League. He also plays ice hockey, pitcher with a very clean style of hook, speed, and endurance, plays the outfield with equal ability, and as a batter, rates second to none. Larry Marsh, captain of York Baseball Club in 1937, now teammate of Jerry Strong at Hull, with whom he played in Canada, reliable left-handed hitter. And to finish off the roster, we have Irvin Rushkinski, one of the finest catchers seen in this country, played senior ball in Canada, came to England in 1936 and played with the Hackney Royals, reverted to amateur status and now played for the Havillands in London Amateur Senior League. So this was originally played as a test between the US Olympic team and England. The International Baseball Federation later crowned England's squad. It was then referred to as GB, as the first world amateur champions for their commanding 4-1 victory in the August matches. Great Britain, who mainly comprised of players competing in the Yorkshire and Lancashire leagues, dominated series. They shut out the US team twice, including a 3-0 win in front of 10,000 spectators at Wavertree Stadium in Liverpool. 10,000 people watched the baseball game in Britain. Team USA were preparing for the 1940 Olympics, which were planned for Tokyo, but were cancelled because of World War II. Featured players picked to the national amateur baseball trials in Lincoln, Nebraska in July. The US team contained a mixture of college and high school players and included Mike Schema, who went on to play for the New York Giants in the majors, batting 3.30 in 32 games. Great Britain performer was Ross Kendrick, described in a game program as a pitcher with a very clean style of hook speed and endurance. He threw both the teams shutout, striking out 16 in the first matchup and then 12 in the second. More baseball glory might have come GB's way the following year when the team was selected to travel to Cuba to play for the second World Cup, but lack of funds forced Great Britain to stay at home. Any hope for an immediate return to the world baseball stage was, of course, dashed by the outbreak of World War II. Still, during the war, Americans stationed in the UK often played baseball, and there are even some examples of Great Britain teams joining him. For example, July 1943, there were advertisements placed in the Liverpool Echo publicising a series of games between the American Nightsticks and the Alf Hansen All England 9 team. Nevertheless, the war cleanly drew attention away from reforming a true national squad. 1948, the first ever baseball match takes place at Leicester at the Oval, Abbey Grounds, on Monday, the 9th of August, and it's led to believe that this is the Leicester Green Sox. 1964, according to issue 10 of the Baseball Courier, dated the 3rd of August 1964, the North v South National League All-Star game was being played in Stretford in Manchester, which is a stone's throw from me, with the Nottingham State Saints manager Hank Putt managing the North team and Rip Collins managing the South team. The North team was made up of players from Hull, Stretford, and the two Nottingham clubs, with South teams made up from players of Bromsgrove, Austin, and the US Navy. Following the game, presentation certificates would be awarded to players of the winning team. This ceremony would be held in conjunction with an evening concert and dance at a Stretford nightclub, which I don't know, and I'm probably not there anyway, but with being that local, I do like to travel to these places on my bicycle to see what I can find from the old days in Stretford baseball. I've even managed to find the old ground where they used to play, which has been quite fun. Could I find the final score of this one? Not at all. But if you have any idea what it was, then send it over and show me what you got. 1967, the 6th of August to the 12th of August, GB gets a silver medal at its inaugural appearance in European Baseball Championships in Antwerp. With a record of 3-1, the host Belgians took the gold. GB beat Spain 10-4, Sweden 3-2, and Germany 11-9, with their only defeat coming at the hands of Belgium 13-12. Closer to home now, 1996, Hull and Hessel hosted Pool B of the European Championships on the 4th of August, with 10 countries taking part, hoping to get on the top two spots so they could gain promotion to Pool A. Teams from Lithuania, Czech Republic, Croatia, Ireland, Poland, Norway, Slovakia, Yugoslavia, Austria, and Great Britain will compete. GB win in the final against the Czech Republic 6-5, gaining promotion to the A pool. This meant that GB had a chance to compete against Europe's elite and become part of the 2000 Sydney Olympics. But we probably all know how that finished. 2016, episode 1 of Backflipping Nerds airs with John, Will, and Darius discussing the return of baseball to the Olympics and other such things. And that episode is still out there if you want to have a listen to it. It's great to go through their back catalogue because they've had so many great guests on, and they all hold up. And if you listen to their most recent episode, you'll hear that they're going to have Drew Spencer on soon, which is always going to be a great interview. 2017, GB under 23 finishes second in the pool of the European Championships, starting 3 days of ball by beating Austria 10-0 in front of 200 people. And the very next day, edging out Poland 13-12 in front of 150 people. And all of a sudden, I've gone really mank and forgotten my thiz and how to speak properly. The next game was versus Spain, and that ended defeat with 1-4. And as the 3 days of consecutive baseball came to a close, the next game will come on the 11th of August, and that saw them meet the Dutch in the quarterfinals. In GB's tournament ended with Mercy Rule coming into play in the 7th inning, with the Dutch team winning 11-1. The 12th of August saw GB take on the Germans for the 5th to 8th places positioning, and that was game 2. 2019, the European Under-23 Championships took place in Prague. If you've been following me for a while, you know where this one's going. The Czech Republic on Wednesday the 7th faced GB at Eagles Ballpark. 85 people witnessed Drew Spencer-led GB team defeat the Dutch 2-1. First in British baseball history by any age group, with Paul, the Dutch assassin Kirkpatrick, doing the damage from the mound and scoring runs from first baseman Soleto and catcher Freddie Mosier. The next day, they will go down 12-0 to Germany and 8-2 to France. But Saturday saw a return to winning ways with a 7-6 win over Croatia in 10 innings on that Sunday. GB saw off Ukraine 3-2. And that is your baseball history roundup for August. If you have any more that you want to add to it, you can always message me. You know, I'm on Twitter. I'm at BritBaseballPod on all social medias, or drop me an email with BritishBaseballPodcast@gmail.com, and I'll happily make any amendments and talk about it in the next episode. So what are your favorite moments from British baseball history? I know there's a lot of really good stuff out there. The Folkestone Baseball Facebook page is publishing some fantastic things all the time, especially footage from 1911. They found a video of one of the earliest games that's been caught on film. So be sure to check them out if you want to know. I'll try and find a link and put it in the show notes. And that's all from me for this week. I hope everyone's safe and well. And again, thank you for your time and your love. And I'll speak to you all soon. Take care now. Ta-ra.